Chapter 27. All the next day, Sarah's thoughts kept drifting back to what she and Solomon had last talked about. Sarah was truly excited about coming to understand something that Solomon seemed to think was so very important. But the more time that elapsed since her conversation with Solomon, the more she wasn't sure at all that she had understood what Solomon was trying to teach her. Sarah did remember, though, that Solomon encouraged her to observe others, to see how much more often they said no than yes. So Sarah decided to pay close attention to that. "Sarah, I don't want you to be late tonight," her mother warned. "We are having company for dinner, and I'll need you. We don't want our company to visit us in a messy house now, do we?" "Okay," Sarah sighed reluctantly. Company was not her favorite thing, not even close to her favorite thing. "Now, Sarah, I mean it. Don't be late." Sarah stopped in the doorway, happily surprised to have found some evidence so early in the morning that supported what Solomon had said. She moved slowly, sort of staring off into the distance as she reviewed what she could remember of Solomon's words unknowingly, letting cold air fill the living room as she stood in the open doorway. "Sarah, don't stand there letting cold air in. For heaven's sake, Sarah, get going. You're going to be late for school." Wow, Sarah mused. It was amazing. Her mother had, just in the last 2 minutes, offered 5 clear statements of what she didn't want, and Sarah couldn't remember even one statement about what her mother did want. And the amazing thing was, her mother didn't even notice what she was doing. Sarah's father was just finishing pushing snow from the front sidewalk when Sarah skipped down the front steps. "Be careful, Sarah. The walkway is slippery. You don't want to fall." Sarah grinned from ear to ear. "Wow," she thought. "This is amazing." "Sarah, did you hear me? I said, watch out, or you will fall down." Sarah didn't actually hear her father saying no to anything, but these words certainly were pointed at what he didn't want. Sarah's mind was spinning. She wanted to speak what she did want. "I'm okay, Daddy," she said. "I never fall down." Oops, Sarah thought. That wasn't exactly saying yes. Wanting to be the best example that she could be for her father, Sarah stopped and turned directly to her father and said, "Thank you, Daddy, for keeping the walkway clear for us. It makes it easy for me to not fall down." Sarah laughed right out loud as she heard herself, even when she was deliberately trying to say yes, still talking about not falling down. Boy, Sarah thought, this is not going to be easy. And then again she laughed and then said right out loud, in amazement at herself, "Not going to be easy? Good grief, Solomon, I see what you mean." Sarah was only about 200 yards from her driveway when she heard the front door of her house slam shut, and she turned to see Jason running at top speed, holding his book bag in one hand and holding his hat on with the other hand, fast approaching Sara. Sara could see from the fast approach Jason was making, and from the gleam she recognized in his eyes, that he was about to brush Sara from behind, as he had done dozens of times before, just enough to set her off balance and to make her mad. And in anticipation, Sara shouted, "Jason, don't you dare! Jason, no, damn you! Jason, don't do that!" Sara shouted with all her might. "Good grief," Sara thought. "I'm doing it again. No, just keeps coming out of me, even when I don't want it to." Don't want it to? There I go again. Sara felt almost frantic. She couldn't seem to control her own words. Jason brushed past Sara and kept on running, and as he was now over a block ahead of her, Sara began to relax into her own quiet walk to school and to reflect on the amazing events that she had observed over the past 10 minutes. Sara had decided to make a list of the no's that she had heard so that she could sort it out later with Solomon. Taking her little notebook from her book bag, Sara wrote, "Don't be late. Don't want a messy house. Don't let cold air in. Don't be late for school. Don't want to fall down. Not going to be easy. Jason, don't you dare." Sara heard Mr. Jorgensen shouting at two boys in her classroom. "Don't run in the halfway." Sara wrote it in her book. She was leaning up against her locker when another teacher from another classroom walked past her and said, "Hurry up, you are going to be late." Sara wrote that down too. Sara sat in her seat, trying to settle into another long day in school, when she saw the most amazing sign posted at the front of the classroom. The sign had been there all of this school year, but Sara hadn't noticed it before. Not like she was noticing it now. She could barely believe her eyes. She took out her notebook and began writing what she was reading. "No talking in class. No gum chewing. No food or drink in the classroom. No toys allowed. No snow boots in the classroom. No staring out of the window. No late work permitted. No pets allowed in the classroom. Tardiness not permitted." Sara sat stunned. Solomon is right. Most of us do resist our well-being. Sara was eager to hear and observe as much as she could that day. During lunchtime, she sat by herself away from the other kids, listening to the conversation two teachers were having at the table behind her. She couldn't see them, but she could clearly hear them. "Oh, I don't know," one teacher said. "What do you think?" "Well, I wouldn't do it if I were you," the other teacher replied. "You never know. You could end up much worse off than you are now." Wow, Sara thought. She had no idea what they were talking about, but one thing was absolutely clear. The advice was no to whatever it was. Sara added to her list, "I don't know. I wouldn't do it if I were you." Sara wasn't halfway through his school day, and she already had 2 pages of no's to discuss with Solomon. Sara's afternoon proved as fruitful as her morning as she added to her list, "Don't throw that. Stop that. I said no. Can you not hear me? Am I not making myself clear? No pushing. I'm not going to tell you again." By the end of the day, Sara was absolutely exhausted. It seemed to Sara that the whole world was resisting its well-being. "Boy, Solomon, are you ever right? Most everybody is saying no instead of yes. Even me, Solomon. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I can't even do it." "I can't do it," Sara wrote on her list. What a day this had been. That's quite a list you have there, Sara. You've had a busy day. Oh, Solomon, you don't know the half of it. This is only some of what I heard today. People are mostly saying no, Solomon, and they don't even know it. And me too, Solomon. This is hard. Well, Sara, it really isn't so hard once you know what to look for and once you realize what your goal is, Sara. Read something to me from your list, and I'll show you what I mean. Don't be late. Be on time. Don't want company to visit a messy house. We want our home to be comfortable for our guests. Don't let cold air in. Let's keep our house nice and warm. Don't be late for school. Being on time really feels best. Don't want to fall down. Stay focused and coordinated. Not going to be easy. I'll figure this out. Don't run in the halfway. Be considerate of others. No talking in class. Let's discuss and learn together. No staring out the window. Your full attention will truly be of tremendous benefit to you. No late work permitted. Let's stay current and work together. No pets allowed in the classroom. Your pets are much happier at home. Gosh, Solomon, you're really good at this. Sara, you'll be good at it too. It just takes practice. And Sara, the words that you use are not so very important. It's a feeling of pushing against that is detrimental. When your mother said, "Don't leave the door open," she was certainly pushing against what she didn't want. But even if she had said, "Close the door," she was still more aware of what she didn't want, and therefore still her vibration would have been one of pushing against. I'd like you to get the idea of relaxing toward what you do want, rather than pushing against what you do not want. Certainly, your words are an indicator of your direction, but the way you feel is even a more clear indicator of your allowing or resisting. Just have fun with this, Sarah. When you push against saying no, you are still pushing against. The idea is just to talk more and more about what you do want. And as you do that, things will just get better and better. You'll see.